Welcome. Damen und Herren, willkommen. Ciao tutti. It's truly lovely to be here in Brixton to celebrate today with Mark and Roberta. Es ist für mich schön, hier zu sein, mit Mark und Roberta, ihre Hochzeit zu feiern, wo das Wetter besser ist als in Deutschland. Che facciamo qui, eh? Il tempo fa molto meglio a Verona. This doesn't work in 3 languages. Auf 3 Sprachen geht es nicht. Che casino, multilingue. So, planning this speech, I hit a problem. How to speak to you all without making this special day sound like the Eurovision Song Contest. It's a problem for me. It's a problem for you. It's a problem for Europe. Because there is no common European marriage language. So I have taken it upon myself to speak the rest of this speech in a language which we can all understand equally. And I've chosen not Italian, not German, but the language of a great European nation, an international seafaring and trading nation with a wonderful history and a wonderful royal family with connections all over Europe. And I have to say also a language or a country that is very close to my family's heart.
Oh yes, the truth.
So, allereerst wil ik uiten. U geweldig is voor mij een beetje over Mark en Roberta te praten. Okay, perhaps we're not going to do Dutch. Geen Nederlands. But I will speak to you in English. And when English people go abroad, they have a marvellous way of making sure that everyone can understand what they say. So I'm just going to shout at you. Welcome indeed to Brixton for Mark and Roberta's wedding. Or shall I call it the latest volume by Dr. Mark Roseman and Dr. Roberta Perga, The Village, the Wedding, the Middle of Bloody Nowhere. It is normal at a wedding or similar function to acknowledge people who have travelled a great distance to attend. Today, I want to congratulate everybody for making it here. But I want to say a particular hello and nice to see you to Helena. Hello. Ciao. To Joan. Ciao. And to Nat. Hey up, lad. I don't want to be too rude about Brixton because I appreciate that, Roberta, you actually grew up here. So it's lovely to see you on your home turf. And let's face it, it could have been a lot worse. A lot worse. We could all be spending today in Leeds. Gott sei Dank. Now, hold on, I've lost my place. I have to say that when I first started receiving emails about this wedding day today, most of them had so many attachments to them that they actually didn't get through to me because they were blocked. And those that did, it was actually a bit like reading Mark's first book all over again, through casting a room. But I did read a confirmation from the hotel, which told me that they'd booked a room for me to attend the wedding of Mark and Robert. I sat and I reread the email, and I thought what you must have all thought if you had read the same email. Finally, he's admitted it to himself. However, I then received the second email with a correction of an A at the end of Roberta's name. So perhaps not this time, Mark. If ever you need advice, there is family who can help you. I thank you. I'm glad to hear it this court. I have to say I was rather relieved to find out that Mark wasn't gay. Because though he has many attributes in that direction, he lacks the essential key to the gay gene. Fashion sense. It's something that really just passed Mark by.
Unkind!
But be that as it may, Mark, you're a man of many other great qualities, which I've discovered over the 45 years that I've called you my cousin and my friend. Indeed, the fact that in our own family I am the youngest and you are the oldest says a lot more about you in itself.
What?
You're old. But apart from that, you are someone who, regardless of a person's age, their status, their situation, or their intelligence, you treat them all equally.
Quite right.
And honestly.
Here, here.
You're an understanding and empathetic, and you are always ready to give your time to somebody who needs you.
Yep.
I remember once when I was a kid, obviously, well, I don't know, obviously, but we're a Jewish family, and I was given, by someone who I think wanted me to become Christian when I was young, a New Testament to read, and everybody in the family was very anti me even owning this book, and I was really upset about it because I thought it was, interesting to read. Since I lived in a Christian country, it might be interesting to find out a bit about it. And the only person who sat me down and said something nice about it when I was about 7 years old was Mark. He could see why I was upset, and he sat me down and he said, well, I wouldn't get rid of it, Joe. This is an important book for Christians, but it's also a very important historical document that you could learn a lot from. And I remember at 7 years old, looking up into Mark's eyes, having heard what he just said to me and saying, oh God, you're not going to be a bloody historian. Of course, today we're surrounded by them, aren't we? Thank God, though, Mark, you are an historian. It's actually extremely difficult to think what you might have done if that avenue hadn't been available. I know that you spent a brief period in your life dressing gentlemen in Burton's. Is that right? And lots of inside leg stories, I'm sure you'll tell us a little later. But I'm also glad that you're an academic, because having seen you working with your classes years ago at Kiel, when you used to invite me along to your shanties, having spoken to you many times on the phone whilst you were actually in a tutorial. I mean, I used to be on the phone chatting to Mark for 20 minutes, and he would then say to me, well, actually, Joe, I've got to go because I'm in a tutorial. And all these students were just sitting around listening to us chatting. You're brilliant at nurturing. You excite people about your subject. You're a fantastic teacher, Mark. Now, from this speech, I guess you probably think that I think a great deal of my cousin Mark. Yes, I do. You might also think that he is perfect. No, he isn't. Yes, he's warm, he's caring, he's empathetic and he's hardworking, but I have to be honest to Roberta. We shall hear about her, by the way, from Anna a little later, I think. Mark has two major faults. The first, I think we all know. His laugh. Well, I call it a laugh. It's more of a... It's like watching a Tarzan movie. But the second, slightly more serious problem with Mark, and Roberta, I do counsel you to think very hard before you proceed, is that Mark thinks he is funny. Now, this is only a problem because he isn't funny. Not at all. Not on earth. Not in the heavens above. He's not funny. Nicht humorvoll. No farire. It was okay before, but now, thanks to technology, Mark is now not funny on Facebook. And this has been a big problem for me. Indeed, half my connections unfriended me after Mark commented on my last skiing holiday. Skiing holiday. Beware. And please, can no one tell Mark that Twitter exists? Otherwise, it's going to be a disaster. No, he is funny, really. It's quite funny. So, dear Mark, cousin, pseudo-brother, and friend, è Roberta, che voglio con sua famiglia accogliere nella nostra famiglia. I wish you both love, happiness, joy and peace in your years together.
Yeah.
Well done, Joe.
And now I think Mark would like to say a few words of welcome.